Merry meet, Annie here. Welcome to Monday on Pagan Perspective. Our topic this week is on being watched. And it came from Diff there. The question is, do you ever feel like you're always being watched? Especially when you're doing ritual outdoors, whether it's neighbors or others. And when you turn to see if anybody's looking because you feel like you're being looked at, there's often someone there with a perplexed look, wondering if you're right in the head because you wave your hand in a certain way or make a certain gesture. How do y'all cope? Well, that's an interesting one, because I don't really have to worry about that. I choose to keep my business private. I always have. Like right now, I came in to record videos today in my meditation room, and outside my window, literally 2 foot on the outside of the window to this room, my next door neighbors are making a lot of noise and would be able to overhear me probably speaking through the window. So I shut the window. This is my business. It's you and I's business. It's not their business. Individually on my own, I'm answering to the fact that I haven't had to worry about being watched. I have chosen places of privacy. There have been a couple of times practicing either in a very small group or on my own that someone's come across what I'm doing. But it's not been a problem. It's great how I felt at the time. I would either make it private, close it up in some way to take it away from prying eyes, or I would just continue doing what I was doing and not be too particularly concerned about others. I've done small rites in very public places, but they weren't something overt that would catch anyone's attention. Although interestingly, a couple of times they've caught the attention of brothers or sisters on the path who have come and made themselves known, and a couple of times beautifully joined in what I was doing. I guess the only time I've not had that feeling of being watched that you were talking about, the fact that you're busy doing your business and you get a sense that someone's watching you, observing you, and you kind of like get that feeling and you turn around and there's the neighbor looking over the fence at you. No, I haven't had that because I opt for privacy. In large groups though, when we have been gathered in public places where people could see us, there have certainly been interested observers, if not those who feel the need to be rude and obtrusive, who have shown up at the edges of what we were doing and occasionally force themselves into our circles. And each circle makes its own mind up how they're going to deal with that kind of intrusion. I've not had any particularly negative experiences in circle in those times, but there have been a couple of times when our circle is done, when the work that we've gathered to do is done, that the energy at the edge of the circle by those who were watching, challenging, thinking something was not right about what we were doing, hasn't been pleasant. However, because I'm a little bit older and I've had lots of these occasions rise up over my life, I can look back over my life and see that the majority of the experiences were people were curious and we could have a good conversation and friends were made. So it balances out any of the negative kind of things that have happened. I've never been involved, even in big rites in public places like New York City where there's lots of people around you. I've never been involved in a situation where something frightening or terrifying happened by those who were watching, although I do have friends who have shared stories, unfortunately, that were that way. So when it comes to my life, when it comes to what I do in my house, in my yard, local places outside that I might be, I choose my place and my time carefully. I don't draw any attention to myself. I do my business quietly, and when I'm with a group, we also take on that same plan of blending into our environment and being someplace where we do not have to deal with unwelcome intrusions. Very little experience with in my home, in the area which I know well, feeling like I'm being watched over, or examined by an outsider, because I know how to stay quiet and peaceful and private. And the things that I've experienced in big public rites out there where you meet all kinds of people, a few negative experiences over the years, but in group, it never bothered me. I never felt too much unease because I was amongst so many of my own kind, and in some instances, more often than not, the opportunity to have some very interesting conversations with those who stopped by to watch. when you're out in public like that, your energy will call people to you. It will, because you are creating a beautiful, beautiful raising of energy. And even though you've encapsulated it in your circle, people instinctually gravitate towards what you're doing. So you pull as well those with positive energy and curiosity, manners even, in addition to the occasional person who makes you feel a little bit more uncomfortable. There's my answer to your question. Not too many negative experiences, or rarely negative experiences in my own environment, because I construct ritual and locate where I'm doing it and the noise that I'm making in a way at which I do not attract attention, because I don't want attention at times like that. I wish you mirth and reverence. Merry part.